Hello everyone. Welcome back. We're going to talk about some Spellslinger. It's going to be a comprehensive Spellslinger guide. For a comprehensive Spellslinger guide, we will have to start with leveling, so let's get into that. For leveling, it's very simple. You go ED Contagion until you hit Act 3. This combo is good enough all the way up till Act 3, where you would want to use Bane and Despair. Bane is a curse skill. Any curses you sock it to Bane. Bane will also cast them when you cast Bane. So it's one cast to get a Bane dot damage on the mob and whatever curses you sock it to it. Now there is the curse cap and everybody gets one curse default. You can get extra curses on the tree or through Occultist, but just Bane and Despair is plenty. The Despair and the Bane combo is going to carry you all the way until you are ready for Spellslinger, which is whenever you have 3 blue links. Now, I'm talking 3 separate pieces of gear that have 3 links. You can get away with 2 links if you'd like, but that's about what you need for Spellslinger. And you should have this late Act 3, maybe into Act 4, and you need a few alterations, 4 to 5 to be exact, to swap over to Spellslinger. So, how Spellslinger works is that you have a Spellslinger support. You're going to link it to another skill. In this case, it's going to be Essence Drain, Contagion, or Soul Rend. We use all 3, but you link one Spellslinger support to one spell, and you can also link other damaging supports to those spells. The first ones you want to link for Essence Drain would be Efficacy, and then Control Destruction. We'll talk about more links later on. But now that your Essence Drain is linked to at least the Spellslinger support, you have to have a wand equipped. You're going to activate the Spellslinger ability you see in your hotbar. It should be like a white little wand symbol. You're going to activate that, and it reserves some percentage of your mana, depending how many other supports are linking to it. The more supports you link, the stronger your support becomes, right? If we link more damage supports to Essence Drain, it deals more damage, but the Spellslinger is going to therefore reserve more mana. Now, we do this because every time we attack with a wand attack, even a default attack, if we run out of mana in default attack, it does not matter because that is still a wand attack. Every time we wand attack, it's going to cast everything that is linked to Spellslinger. This is why it is so good. Wand attacking is very quick once you get some cast speed or once you get attack speed, and we use Frenzy, which gives us Frenzy charges, and it makes us have a lot of attack speed from the Frenzy charges and from the Frenzy wand attack that we're using. So we can attack very quickly, and the power doesn't come from just having one thing linked to Spellslinger. The power comes from having Contagion, Essence Drain, and Soul Rend linked to our Spellslinger support. We'll talk about the Contagion mechanics in a little bit, but this is where the power of Spellslinger support comes in. You have one button that casts 3 different spells, and this is why I think Spellslinger is so fun. Now, the Spellslinger can be on Occultist or Trickster, and I'll talk about the differences on that, but the trees are very similar. If you copy my tree later on, it's going to be the exact same. All right, so you do Spellslinger, you have your links, you get Soul Rend, you get Essence Drain, you get Contagion, and you carry yourself easy breezy all the way through the acts, and you hit maps. Now, of course, you need to cap your resistances, but now you are going to want your Spellslinger setups, and you probably already have Soul Rend and GMP because it is very good through the leveling for extra clear. You'll have Essence Drain and some damage supports. The first one you'd want is Efficacy and then Control Destruction, and Contagion and Area of Effect. I also like to put increased item rarity on my Contagion because the Spellslinger support reserves mana. Increased Area of Effect has a mana multiplier of 140%, so it's going to make it reserve more mana when I reserve my Spellslinger support for Contagion. But item rarity does not make it reserve more mana. It does not have a mana multiplier. And how Essence Drain Contagion works. Contagion, you put on the mobs. If something dies while it has Contagion on it from Essence Drain dot damage, it's going to spread. Or even just from anything. If it dies with Contagion and Essence Drain on it, it's going to spread Contagion and Essence Drain all around it. And that's how we get those huge overlapping circles going all the way around. Now, when this happens, it is normally the Essence Drain dot damage that is killing it, right? That's where we get all of our damage, is from Essence Drain. We're using Contagion only to spread the Essence Drain damage, but that spreading is counted for the kill. For some reason, this is just how the code works. So, item rarity linked to Contagion. Contagion is getting all of the kills, technically, right? Essence Drain is doing the damage, but technically, in the game's code, Contagion is getting the kill. So this is a lot of free rarity. 68% increased rarity that I am getting. So many more rares, so many more uniques. It really is a lot of extra free stuff. So let's talk about what you need for mapping. You need capped resistances and some life, and a +1 cast spell, wand, and shield. Look at this. +1 cast spells, spell damage, life, 1 alch all the way down, 1 chaos all the way down. Same with the wands, same with the shields. These are super, super cheap. Let's go over to a wand. Here we go. So we're going to look. No corrupted wands. 1 alch, 1 chaos, all the way down. You can buy any of these. Maybe you need some fire resistance. Go ahead and get a +1 chaos spell skill gems with some fire res on it. Same with the shield. Pick up whatever you want. Look at this. 40 life, 2 resistance, and +1 all chaos spell skills. 1 chaos. That's pretty good. And this is all you need for whites and yellow maps, all the way up to red maps. All you need are your Spellslinger supports and these 2 items, and that's a lot of damage that you're getting from these. Now, this is where Occultist and Trickster get a little different. When you hit red maps, I'm talking T11, maybe even T10s, you're going to kind of feel your single target damage. It gets a little bad, okay? It starts to get a lot worse. Your clear is crazy, right? The clear is still really good, but this is where you need to change it up. For me, I am Occultist. I still wanted to be Spellslinger. Now, for Occultist or for Trickster, this is really the Spellslinger branch of the tree. I don't recommend going self-cast as Occultist. Trickster gets a lot of stuff for free. You guys get a lot of cast speed. You get a lot of extra energy shield, a lot of defenses and whatnot. Occultist gets some nice stuff. We get a little bit more damage and kind of clear with all of the curse popping, all of that. But this is going to be for Spellslinger side of the tree. All right, we're going to buy Chevrons. You've not had to buy anything all the way up to T11 maps. I sure hope that you have enough money for Chavs. Otherwise, you should be able to just clear some maps and grind up enough. It is 3 exalts, and that is kind of a lot of money to get your Chevrons. But this price should come down after a while as more people get more drops. Otherwise, you just farm it up. Farm up whatever maps you have, whatever you can, and go ahead and save for that Chevrons. But you should be kind of clearing everything as you get up to T11 maps. You should be good. Otherwise, you don't have to go low life right away. It's just how you get a lot more damage. You can still be life. You can still push it. You can get a lot of the damage things that I'll talk about later without going low life, but low life really does help out. So, like I said, buy Chevrons, and when you can, go low life. If you're Trickster and you want to go self-cast, buy the Porcupine Divination cards. It's a 6-card turn-in for a 6-link Thicket Bow. Thicket Bow, low dex requirement, making it very easy to color blues and reds on it, because the higher the requirement for a stat, the harder getting other colors is, right? If we have a high dex, which is green, if we have high dex requirement, it's going to be really hard to get blues and reds on that bow, which we want. We want a lot of blues, right? We want 3 blues, 2 greens, 1 red. So we want 4 off colors on our bow. which is why we get a thicket bow. You're going to alteration spam +1 socket to gems, and you're going to regal. Now, if you regal a prefix, you have to annul the prefix. You have to annul it. And if you annul the +1 socket to gems, you have to go back and you have to alteration spam. If you regal a suffix, you're good, dude. You're good. If you want a perfect bow, I mean, you're going to have to craft a perfect bow, but you should be fine with just regaling a suffix. You can probably harvest craft that off later if you'd like. Now, for the bow, we're going to keep talking about the bow for a second. For the bow, let's say you're good. Now, you can do this on your own by going and unveiling Katarina items and doing the Pale Court, or you can PM me for the craft on your bow. Now, the crafting costs 4 exalts. I'm not charging anything to craft something for you. This is for real what it costs to actually craft it on your bow. All right, can have up to 3 crafted modifiers. This lets us craft another 2 things on the bow because this counts as 1 craft. So up to 3 crafted modifiers. So crafting this lets us have 2 more, okay? That's 2 exalts right there. So that's 2x. +2 level of socketed support gems, that's another 2 exalts. We have 1 craft left. This is where I can craft chaos damage over time multiplier, or you can wait until you have a higher level. You see, I only have level 1 of this craft. You could just wait, go ahead and craft that on when you get it. Otherwise, if you're fine with it, I can do that. But it's a 4 exalt minimum, right? 2 for the +2 support gems, 2 for the can have 3 crafts. I'm not charging anything for that, so, you know, just hit me up, trade me the bow, the exalts, I'll craft that on there for you. And what this is going to give is a level 28 essence drain when you get your empower in here. Our chaos damage skills get a lot of damage from plus levels, which is why we get +1 unwanted shield. Now, you have to have an empower here, right? To get all of this damage as well. A level 2 empower is perfectly fine. Obviously, you want to get as high level as you possibly can, so that would be level 4 later on. But for now, your empower gets +1 from your bow, +2 from the +2 supports. So if you have a level 3 empower, let's say it's just corrupted level 3, it gets +1 from the bow, so it's at level 4, and then it gets another +2 from the +2 support gems, so it's level 6. It's giving your essence drain +5 levels. So if it's 21, it becomes 26. If it has, and then it gets the +1 from the bow, so it's 27. If you have a level 4 empower, it gets up to 28. And you can even get +1 on your amulet, and it gets to 29. It's crazy. This gives big damage, all right? This is how you get big damage with Essence Drain. Now, you can get Cool Awaken gems, Watcher's Eye for dot damage with Malevolence, 2120 gems. You can get 30 more dot damage on gloves if you'd like for some other setup. This is crafted with a Delirium essence. You craft it on the gloves, and you get something like this. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Maybe you harvest craft some stuff off of there or onto there. Whatever you have to do. And lastly, I like to have Aspect of the Spider because things take 5% more damage per second, up to 3 stacks of the spider stacks. So they're taking a lot more damage, and they're slow, and it looks cool. Now, you gotta have fun pressing 2 buttons, right? 2 buttons, ugh, but you do a lot more damage, so that's the trade-off. Let's go back to Spellslinger. You bought your shavs. You got Low Life. Low Life is sick because you get 30% more damage when on Low Life, which is below 35% life. Now, how do you get on Low Life? Excuse me, how are you reserving your life? Alright, you go to Prism Guardian, you buy one of these bad boys. Socketed gems have blood magic, and they get +2, and they have reduced mana reservation. That is exactly what we're looking for. Check out my Zealotry, my Discipline, and my Malevolence. Let's go back here and go back to our hideout. Now, I also have my Soul Rend on Blood Magic, just because having Blood Magic gets a little tricky. You have to bounce a lot of things around. You kind of have to figure out, you know, it's like this crazy math game, but I do it in Path of Building, so I don't have to waste so many chromes. But you have to, like, figure out, like, if I have a level 19 blood magic, is this, if I do this here, if I put this here, just have a level 19 blood magic. This is where I put my Soul Rend. My Soul Rend reserves 36% of my life. Here, let's go back and get our life back, because I don't have any life regen because of Zealot Oath. So let's start with my Soul Rend. All right, this has blood magic. The mana multiplier is huge, so it reserves a lot more, which is why you have to get some reduced mana reservation on the tree. Up here, and this nice wheel right here. Reduced mana reservation. That does account for your life as well. All right, so Soul Rend. This is my Spellslinger Soul Rend. So right now, I'm not casting my Soul Rend because it's not active on my Spellslinger support, but I turn it on. You see I reserved some life, and look at that. My cute little kitty is now shooting. That is my Soul Rend skin. So I've reserved life, but I'm not at low life, right? Low life is having 35% or less life. So let's pop our Malevolence, which is socketed in here. It's not linked to blood magic, but the shield does have blood magic on it. So it does have blood magic. Let's go ahead and pop that. Ooh, we're getting closer. Maybe this is 35%, but I feel like we can fit a few more auras on here, right? Why not? Might as well have Discipline. Might as well have Malevolence. Let's pop Discipline, get some more energy shield. Ooh, 5k ES. Ooh, and we still have some life left to reserve. We might as well reserve it, right? Get some more damage. And look at that. We're all the way down. We had 1,529 life. We're reserving 1,499. I have 30 life left. Now, we're able to do this because all damage has to go through energy shield except chaos, which is why people normally get chaos inoculation. You become immune to chaos damage. So the one damage source that can go through energy shield and hit your life, you become immune to it. But I'm not CI. So this is why you have to buy Chevrons. And this is the power of Chevrons and why it is expensive. Chaos damage does not bypass energy shield. That very last line. This makes it so I'm still taking chaos damage, but it can't hit my life until all my energy shield, all the energy shield on the globe goes to 0, and then it hits my life. So this is why we're able to reserve so much life. It's like a whole other mana pool. I'm able to get 4 extra spells reserved on my life because I have Chevrons. That's a lot of damage. And we need that damage because we don't have a cool wand like the Tricksters do. Now, this cool wand, you don't really need this. It's +1 all spells, +1 chaos. Really, you just need the +1 chaos. I would focus, laser focused. Do not waste your money, all right? Don't spend your money. Get the +1 wand, +1 shield. Save up for that Chevs. You should get a 5-socket recipe from your harvest. Get a 5-link recipe from your harvest eventually. Should be able to get a free 5-link Chevrons, or a free 5-link for your Chevrons once you buy your Chevrons. All right. Your low life. You've got Prism Guardian. Malevolence, Discipline, Zealotry are in your Prism Guardian. And maybe you put your Soul Rend on blood magic just like me. Keep in mind you do need level 19 blood magic. So maybe think ahead and level that. You can try for a +1 amulet. The bases are like 100 chaos. You can roll for it. It's really not that expensive to roll. Probably another 10 to 20 chaos to roll the +1. And you can also get a Transcendent Mine. This is all after Chevron and Prism Guardian, of course. This gives you 3 damage over time multiplier per 10 int on unallocated passives. So I'm getting multiplier for the int nodes I have not picked up yet. These I'm not getting the multiplier from, right? Because I had to pick these. But the ones that I haven't, I'm getting dot damage from. So that's pretty cool. All right. So you're here. You've got all the gear. Now you can get some cool Awakened Gems. These Awakened Gems should be pretty cheap, relatively, to most Awakened Gems. You can also obviously get your 6-link Chevs. You kind of just work your way forwards. Like I said, with the Socketed Gems deal 30% more damage over time. I like to have that in my gloves because my gloves are where I have my Soul Rend set up. Now, you may notice, all right, some of you astute individuals who have been paying attention, I have Aspect of the Spider on my gloves. I have it on my wand. Why is that? Well, I am a big dummy poo-poo head, okay? If you put Aspect of the Spider on your gloves, the Aspect of the Spider, just like your Contagion setup, gets the mana multiplier, making Spellslinger reserve more mana here with increased area of effect, but not from rarity because it has a mana multiplier. My Aspect of the Spider has this mana multiplier from Blood Magic, so I would be forced to use it on Blood Magic because of my Soul Rend setup, and also from Efficacy. So my other Aspect of the Spider is going to reserve 45% of my life. I did not realize this. I'm a big dummy. So I crafted on here Aspect of the Spider, and it was an utter waste. I can do it on my wand. I should have done it on maybe a piece of jewelry, although I really do need the suffixes because aspects are suffixes. I needed my suffixes for resistances. So whatever. I crafted on my wand. I just wanted a game. That's what I do. So now the Wither, the spell totems, and the multiple totems, they don't do anything to Aspect of the Spider, so we are all good. You can even check this too. Aspect of the Spider, you could look at the active skill gems. You know, look at the multiple totems, go to the left, look at active skill gems right up there. You can see Aspect of the Spider will not be supported by multiple totems, and it will not be supported by spell totem. But when we go to Blood Magic, it's going to be supported by Blood Magic, and it's going to be supported by Efficacy. So that kind of sucks. But whatever. I wasted my gloves, so you don't have to. All right, pay attention. That's what you got to do. All right. So get your Aspect of the Spider. It's pretty good. And now you can kind of just like keep going, keep getting your upgrades, get your 6-link, awaken gems. Maybe you find like a really cool cluster jewel, even though they're really hard to roll for some reason now. You know, whatever you got to do, man. You anoint something, you can figure it out. You know, path of building it. If you want to import my character, I've had so many people say like, hey, path of building, give me a path of building code. Hey, if you open path of building and you go to import, you can just do Tripolar Bear here. You press start, go to Harvest League, and you click my character. And now you can update my character in your path of building at any time. Anytime I change a piece of gear, you can update your path of building for the character. Keep in mind, my life is like this because I'm a dummy who did Aspect of the Spider on my gloves. But here you go. That's how you get my character in your path of building. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what you're going to do before you hit low life. This is what your tree should look like if you're occultist, obviously, or maybe not so obviously for some people. You are going to have to start as life, especially when you're leveling. You just have to be life. You can't be low life while you're leveling. You can't be chaos inoculation, CI. You can't be that while you're leveling. You have to be life, and you should be life because it is the best way to level all the way up until you buy a Chevrons and are ready to transition into an energy shield based character. This is what the life looks like. I don't really have much gear or any gear at all. This is more just to showcase sort of what it looks like. Here, you know, this is a very good wand. Really, you just want the +1, remember. You can get the +1 on the shield as well. Most of this gear is just here to put on life and show you what your life could look like. Now, for occultists, you start by coming out of here, getting spell damage, life, going up, getting life. You can come over and get this life right away. You can come over here and get that life right away. If you'd like, you can use the Spreading Rot Jewel, or like I said, just use Wither Totems. And we're just getting life and all of the damage over time and chaos damage wheels, more life. And if you don't have a lot of energy shield, I recommend coming over and getting acrobatics. Now, I have 1800 ES here, energy shield. Getting acrobatics makes it go down to 1200. I lose 600 energy shield, which is kind of a lot, right? That's like 600 life. But the thing is, you get 30 attack dodge chance, which is very good. You're taking 30% less damage from attacks. You come over here, you're taking 3, 4, so 7 another 10 less damage from attacks, so you're dodging 40% of all attacks, 34% of all spells. That's a lot of dodging, and that's a lot less damage you're taking. Now, we can't do this when we go like really hard into block with glancing blows, and when we transition to energy shield, because we have 30% less energy shield and 30% less chance to block spell and attack damage. So this is sort of just what you can grab when you're life. This is for an occultist tree. The very first ascendancies you'll get are Void Beacon, Withering Presence. You'll come over for Profane Bloom, and Vile Bastion is just nice to have for when you're ready to transition to low life and energy shield. For Trickster, the start and the tree are very, very similar. They're practically the same, and I think they are the same, because you're going to just come out of here getting the chaos damage instead of coming out of a witch getting spell damage. You come out of here, get chaos damage, exactly the same. You're getting life, you're getting the damage over time, the chaos damage, getting some mana reservation because we are Spellslinger, which reserves mana. Life, acrobatics, phase acro, and life, damage, all the way down, getting more life, and more mana reservation. The trees really are the same. It's just where you're coming out of them. Now for Trickster, you're going to come and you're going to get Patient Reaper first, Normal Lab, Ghost Dance for Cruel Lab, Escape Artist for Merc, and Prolonged Pain for Uber Lab, because this is just a lot of damage, and you don't really need the damage so much at the very, very start of maps. That can wait. For transitioning to low life, you're going to start with this tree. You're going to be life all the way up until you buy Chevrons and a Prism Guardian, and you should 5-link that Chevrons through your harvest crafting. You should be able to find a 5-socket recipe and a 5-link recipe fairly easily. They don't seem to be extremely rare. 5 links are not very, very rare. Or you could just go ahead and buy a 5-link Chevrons yourself. It shouldn't be too much more expensive. But let's talk about Trickster Low Life now that we did some Trickster Life. Now, the tree here comes out a little different. Since we're low life, we're energy shield, which is where we get most of our effective HP pool. Instead of coming out and getting a bunch of chaos damage here, which it's damage, it helps, but we want to save as many points as possible, we're going to come out over here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we're here, and we're back into the tree. Instead of grabbing this life here, I really like these 2 nodes. It's always really nice when you're going from life to ES. You just unspec 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and now you got some energy shield nodes and all resistance. For some reason, the life nodes don't have all res. They have some damage, but we get all res when we swap, which is very, very nice. We come up here. We're still getting these nodes. We're still getting these, but instead of getting these life ones right here, we come up and around and get Soul Thief here. Evasion rating, energy shield, elusive on kill, we still get that. We're still holding on to the damage nodes we had, the shield nodes, the mana reservation. But now instead of these hybrids just being alone here, you're going to put an energy from within here, which transfers all the life into just energy shield. So this becomes a 16% ES, this becomes an 8%, and so on. We're low life, so we pick up Pain Attunement, of course, 30% more spell damage. And we get these energy shield nodes. This was when I was coming out of Witch, so we'll just delete those nodes. And you come here, get ES, come up. If you have the money, you get a Transcendent Mine. Otherwise, you can just put whatever damage jewel you have here. We're getting some spell block, some energy shield, more block stuff. And this is where it gets a little fancy. Now, I had the money right away to be able to buy a Thread of Hope. This lets me allocate passives that aren't connected. So I can allocate the Glancing Blows, the Sanctity, and the Retribution. This one's nice. I really just needed it for the strength, and I might as well get some damage on top. Now, a lot of defense for this build comes from having Glancing Blows. This is going to double my attack and block. Right now, it is 58 block chance for attacks, 40% spell block. Now, I have a pretty decent amount of spell block, because I've picked up some spell block nodes on the tree. This becomes 4%, right? Because it's doubled from glancing blows. This becomes 12% block, and we get all the block here and all the block here. So it's all being doubled by glancing blows. If you don't have a Thread of Hope, you can just go ahead, come from the jewel socket over here. We can take Thread of Hope out, and you're going to come down here. This wheel is actually very, very good. So you get glancing blows, and these give spell block and all res. Attack block, spell block, and then attack and spell block. So we actually get a lot of attack block and a pretty nice amount of spell block on top of 24 all resistance for picking up these nodes. This is very, very good. I really liked this wheel, and I honestly really missed it and had to figure out my resistances once I got the Thread of Hope. Although the Thread of Hope is very nice, you're going to miss it, once you kind of have to lose it or choose to lose it for when you get your Thread of Hope and can kind of just socket things wherever you want. Because this was another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skill points just to get down to glancing blows. This wheel is nice, but it's really not that nice. I'm a little crunched for points, so having the Thread of Hope here is nice, and you get to pick up a few extra things as well. But I want you to know it's not necessary to have the Thread of Hope to go glancing blows. It's still worth it to come down here and get these big block nodes. I also have a Roomies, which brings me to block cap, and my spell block. It's not capped, but I'm kind of getting there. I'll figure it out sometime. This is what the low life trickster tree is like. Now, I want you to kind of imagine, right? How different was the life occultist tree from the life trickster tree? Now, how different do you think the occultist low life tree is going to be from the trickster low life? This is what my current build is. The tree, it's literally the same, except I'm not coming out of the shadow side of the tree. I'm coming out of the witch tree. These ES nodes are nice. Getting them would give me 200 ES, as you can see down here, which is pretty good, but I opted to save the extra 2 skill points here. These skill points really come in handy once you get into this super, super late game, and I try to save as many skill points as I possibly can. As you see, everything's the same, right? We're just not coming out of Trickster. We're getting all the energy shield, this damage wheel, all the spell block, keeping all the jewel sockets. The only thing that's different is coming out of this switch side here. You still want to have energy from within, and you still want to go glancing blow with a Thread of Hope. Now, let's say that you are going to go self-cast low life. Well, if you're going self-cast low life, then you don't need to come here. You probably won't need to get this entire wheel, but let's say you'll keep the mana reservation. With these mana reservation wheels, you just have to pick them up if you need them and drop them when you don't. They're not hard set in stone. These were the nodes that I needed to make all of my auras work on my life and mana. You might not need all these, but these are the ones I need, so unsocket them, socket them if you need, whatever you have to do to make your auras work. If you're self-cast, though, you may not need all of these wheels. Maybe you'll need a few of them, but you probably won't need this one. Maybe you'll just want to get this one for your self-casting needs. Since you're self-cast, you won't have to reserve so many things on your mana with Spellslinger supports. So you can most likely focus a little bit more on getting energy shield. So these are some extra points you can pick up. Maybe you can get this damage wheel as well if you'd like. But you just go around, you get more ES if you can. There's a lot of energy shield we can pick up here. But if you're self-cast, the tree doesn't get terribly different. You're just given a little bit of freedom. Maybe instead of getting some energy shield, you have the freedom to get a cluster jewel here. So you can socket this here, go up here. The tree should be practically the same. You're going to lose these block nodes here. You're not going to be going Thread of Hope with glancing blows. maybe you still come over here and get the energy shield nodes, but you're going to drop all of the blocking and you're going to just spam a lot of cluster jewels, a lot of energy shield. You see here we're level 88. You have another 5 points to play around with here. That could be a medium cluster that gives a lot of damage. And I've picked up a few of the energy shield nodes that you could get to, right? You have a lot more freedom with your skill tree if you're going self-cast. You have a lot more damage if you're going self-cast, but you got to press a lot of buttons, and sometimes it's kind of clunky. So let's go ahead and save this as Trickster self-cast. Now, I don't recommend going self-cast if you're a cultist. Now, I don't recommend going self-cast if you're a cultist, because the Trickster just gets so much stuff for going self-cast. Every one of these gives you 4 cast speed, which does not seem like much, but 16% cast speed really adds up when you're trying to go boom, boom. You know, doing a 2 combo here. This Escape Artist and Ghost Dance combo is very nice. You get another 6 attack and cast speed per Ghost Shroud. Your max Ghost Shrouds being 3. So that's another huge amount of cast speed, making your 1-2 combo much, much better. Some people even opt into going Weave of the Arcane instead of Prolonged Pain for some time while they're self-cast. You get 20% attack and cast speed if you've used a movement skill recently. That's just Flame Dash, right? You Flame Dash every 4 seconds, something like that. You get a ton of attack and cast speed. You get less damage taken, and you get some free mana on top of that. Going self-cast is definitely viable as Trickster. If you remember before, this is where you're going to kind of craft your bow and get a lot of damage with your Empower and your Essence Drain being very, very high level. So let's check out some actual gameplay. Yes. Wow, no gameplay in your build guide. No gameplay, no gameplay. All right, relax. Jeez Louise. Okay, here we go. So I am going to show off an Elder map here. So this is a T16, and at the end, there's going to be an Elder Guardian. This is going to kind of show what's going on, kind of showing the clear, and kind of showing you what your single target is going to look like against a kind of boss monster. Now, this map is not very juiced at all. As you can see, the packs are very small. They're very far and in between. So for Essence Drain, the true strength comes from things like Legion, right? Legion has so many monsters next to it. You see, when I actually have some of these packs next to each other from a shrine or otherwise, that's where you see the true power of Essence Drain, where it's just spreading and spreading. Everything's dying. It keeps spreading. It's killing everything. It's amazing. It feels great. So let's skip ahead. You can kind of see the clear. I do my 1 attack, and it's just boom. Everything's dying. It's getting cleared. It's feeling good. So now let's go to the very start of this. So Spire of Delusion. This is where I am going to do this Elder Guardian. Now you want to use your Wither Totems, okay? I've had people say, why not the Spreading Rot Jewel? Well, and Blight Totems. Well, Blight Totems shoot a cone. Wither Totem can shoot a ranged circle. My Wither Totems don't even have to be close for that to hit, first of all. Second of all, Spreading Rot Jewel takes a Jewel Socket. Why would you want to do a Jewel Socket for having to use a worse skill? Just use Wither, all right? Trust me, just use Wither Totems. All right, don't do Blight Totems. Wither Totems are strictly better 100%. So you see here, I do have Glancing Blows, so I get some kind of block chance here. I'm able to block some stuff. The single target, I have a super juiced build. This is kind of what it looks like close to the end of it. I do have a lot of upgrades to get still, but I have a 6-link Shavs. I have some Awakened Gems, although they're only level 1, so they're practically 20/20 gems right now. But this is about what it looks like when you kind of like hit endgame. You know, if you eat things, you're going to die. Obviously, I eat a lot of things, but I'm still all right most of the time. The damage isn't too bad. You know, I hit it, I kill it, I can kind of like move around a little bit. It's nothing crazy, but that's what you are paying for when you get your crazy clear speed and only having to press one button press. Other than Flame Dash and Totems, of course. But I really like that. I like the one button kind of build here. I really enjoy not having to do a Contagion cast followed by Essence Drain for my clear. I like everything kind of just going out at once. You can kind of see he's bouncing around now. I can't really damage him, so you can't call me ZDPS yet. But here we go. He's back up. We're going to start doing some damage to him. And it does take a little while. He's going to phase one last time. I'm going to put my totems down. I'm going to hit him with some dot damage. And then I can kind of like walk around. Maybe staying close to get some aspect of the spider stuff on him. Also, I have Withering Presence because I am Occultist. So you get a few extra Wither stacks on there too. And now kind of just hit him, walk around, and he's going to die in a little bit. You see, it wasn't crazy slow, but, you know, it sure wasn't mines where you kind of just go, blah, 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 the whole screen is ball lightning, wow. You know, you're doing crazy damage, but hey, we have clear, and that's what I play the build for. Now we're going to go over some of the pieces of gear and the sockets I have. Like I said, these are my 30% more damage over time with the Delirium Essence, +1 all spells, and +1 chaos spells. I have +1 socketed gems. It's whatever. Just get energy shield and resistance. I have some energy shield on my helmet, +1 chaos skills, and some res on my amulet. The Prism Guardian, like I said, for blood magic, reduced mana reservation, and all that. My shields, or my boots, have some nice stuff we'll talk about later, but mainly movement speed. Bisco's Leash to give Rampage and Quant. Rampage is really fun. It gives you a lot more damage and move speed, and it kind of gives you an incentive to keep moving, which I think is very fun. But now you see Wither Totems, multiple totems, Spell Totem. I have a cast on damage taken, Immortal Call, Flame Dash, Arcane Surge is huge. Make sure your levels are all good there. You want your Flame Dash to proc Arcane Surge every time. You don't want to Flame Dash twice for an Arcane Surge. There's my Frenzy. You just need a one-link Frenzy. It doesn't have to be fancy. The Spellslinger Contagion support with increased area of effect, so the Contagion can spread our Essence Drain damage easier. And Rarity. Because it's free Rarity, right? Like I said before, every kill counts as the Contagion kill. You might as well get some free Rarity. You see I have the 6-link shavs here with some Awakened Gems. Efficacy, Void Manipulation, Swift Affliction, Edie, and Spellslinger. Flesh and Stone, because I had the room for it. Why not? Alright, Arcane Swiftness. Wow, spell damage, 5% per 5 block chance. I'm getting 75 spell damage because I have 75 block chance with my roomies up. But 20% chance to avoid elemental ailments. I craft another 22, so we're at 44. I have 33 avoid LE ailments on my boots because they're Shaper boots, and that's how I bought them. And a 25 on my helmet. 20 plus 22 plus 33 is 75, plus 25 on the helmet. Check this out. We're at 100% chance to avoid igniting, chill, freeze, shock, sap, you know, all of everything, all of these ailments. I can't be frozen. I don't need it on my flask. I don't have to worry about being shocked or ignited. All I have to worry about is being bled, which is why I have it on my Jade Flask. I have a Roomies and a Witchfire. I used to run Despair on Blasphemy, but I figured, hey, why not just get a Despair Aura on my Witchfire Flask? Now, I'm going to show you something that I really hope they fix. This is a super annoying bug. It's coming up all the time, and it's really killing my vibe, all right? Check out this. They're not being cursed with Despair Aura right now, but look, I have my Witchfire Brew. It was popped right here. We'll show it again, all right? No flasks. I pop this. Now remember, this was my curse immunity flask. This makes me immune to curses. Now, for some reason, when you pop a curse immunity flask first, and then your Witchfire Brew afterwards, your Witchfire Brew does not give you an aura of cursingness for your Despair. Nothing is being Despair cursed right now. So I really hope they fix this. This really sucks. Having Despair curse aura from your Witchfire Brew, or just Despair aura at all, like, is really good. Obviously, that's a lot of damage. You're reducing chaos resistance by a lot. Now, no flasks are up. I'm going to pop Witchfire first. I pop Witchfire, and then I pop my curse immunity. Now you can see everything is being cursed with despair. I don't know why this, is a bug now. This isn't how it used to be. It's probably because of those curse changes to stop all the shackles of the wretched. If you're not familiar, just the headhunter shenanigans. It's just headhunter stuff. They did some stuff there. But I'll showcase it again. This time I'm going to do cursed immunity first, my Witchfire second. It's not going to have a despair aura. These are normal monsters. They don't have hexproof or anything. This is just, I guess, how it works right now. You see, they weren't cursed. Now I'm going to do the Witchfire first. All right, Witchfire first, curse immunity second, and now they're being despair aura cursed again. I really hope they fix this because it's really annoying. I'll showcase some more clearing, but, this is kind of annoying. I don't want to have to manage my flask like that. It should just be fine, right? That's a bug. But unfortunately, that is just how it works right now. And you'll see, we'll skip ahead to some clearing in the map. You see, sometimes I'm able to do it because I put this here first, but sometimes my curse flask lasts too long, and I have to pop my Witchfire brew while it's up, and then I just don't get my despair aura. It's pretty feels bad. I don't get it, but whatever. I hope they fix it. It should be like a super easy fix. Hopefully within the next few days. If enough people talk about it, enough people do whatever. I want this fixed. It's just really annoying, and I lose like a lot of damage by not having my aura. And I'm a cultist, man. I want these huge profane bloom explosions, all this cool stuff. I want to hear the popping, and it's not happening because for some reason I can't have a despair aura while I am immune to curses. All right, anyway, I'm going to let this play out for the rest. You can see how this clear works. I want you to come see how it works in action, though, on Twitch. All right? Come, follow me. Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, DLive, whatever. Come tune in, say hi. If you've got some more specific questions that I was not able to answer here, I will be able to answer them. If you come in, drop me a comment. Just ask me the question, whatever. I answer every question. Come say hi, see what's up, see how it's going, see how fast I can blast. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.